Hi Aries, welcome back to Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Cult Cross spread as always, and also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Okay, we have the Sun. So, first few weeks of February, we're going to have the Sun in Aquarius, which is your 11th house of hopes and wishes, friendships, groups. And then it's going to move into Pisces, which is your 12th house of spirituality, blind spots, mental health. We also have the 10th house, which for you guys, that's Capricorn energy. There's plenty going on there. At the time of recording this, we have the Venus retrograde. There's the Mercury retrograde that just started too, and it's going to be in Capricorn for part of February. So yeah, a lot going on there. Obviously Pluto's still there too. And we have Libra energy. So for you guys, that's your 7th house of partnerships, contracts, relationships. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. Alright. Oh, and actually, thinking of the Capricorn energy, Mars is going to be in Capricorn for February as well. So a lot going on there. But yeah, in the main situation position, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here, which for you guys is 2nd house, possessions, health, or finances. But yeah, this does look like there's a potential to have some balance restored around the situation. So it could be as simple as being compensated for work you might have done in the past, or maybe there could have been a holdup around getting that compensation. If I was you, this could even be around reestablishing a friendship as well. And the reason why I say that is because in the challenge or obstacle position, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. So this is Aquarius energy here. And for me to see this come up in reverse as a challenge, to me says that there's the potential for, any rifts to be mended between you and another person, or possibly even just a group in general. But I feel like it's saying that it's showing up as a challenge because, for whatever reason, there could still be a reluctance on either your side or the other side to actually come together to restore that balance. But it does look like there is the potential to have that happen this month. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Star, which is Aquarius energy, and the 8 of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So seeing these two cards come out together, what I feel like this is saying is I feel like some of you might have gone through a course correction recently. This is the card that comes after the Tower in the Major Arcana, so for some of you it's possible you might have gone through a Tower moment. But yeah, if not, could just be saying all the transits that we're having moving through the Aquarius energy. Could just be leading to you guys having some sudden insights around situations. But for whatever reason, with that 8 of Swords, looks like there's some reluctance on your part to actually come forward and communicate what you have discovered and what you have figured out through that journey. So I don't know what the reason for it is exactly, but that's what I'm seeing with those two things. Or for some of you, this could even just be maybe a lack of trust that the course you're on is the correct one, but seeing this come up here definitely would trump the 8 of Swords. So it looks like you are on the right path, but might be a bit of a struggle for you to accept that at this time. Alright, past position, we have the Emperor. So this is the Major Arcana card for your sign. So to me, this says that in the past, you might have felt like you were very sure of yourselves, very confident, right? Which we're seeing a bit of the lack of that in the foundation position there. So you might just feel like things were going more your way in the past, and it looks like now you're a little less sure of yourself. All right, in the present position, we have the 9 of Swords. So this is actually Gemini energy again here. So we're seeing that progression. We saw the 8 of Swords. Now we see the 9 of Swords. So yeah, for whatever reason, this path and this course correction you might have gone on, there could be some denial or reluctance on your part to actually pursue that path. But it could just be one of those things where it keeps nagging at you, so you might try to push it aside and say, oh, well, I'll put that off. Maybe I don't need to do it now, or whatever the case may be, right? But I feel like you just keep getting more and more signs, and they're coming in persistently telling you that this is the path to pursue. And like I said, it could just be a bit of a reluctance on your part to do so for whatever reason. And another thing I have to say too with the Emperor in the past that comes to mind is, of course, when you look at the artwork there, he's armored up, right? So this could just be saying within your interactions with others too. That might have been one of those things where for you it might be easy to come into any conversation and say exactly what's on your mind, right? But for others that may not be the case. And what I would say is with the artwork there, it kind of exemplifies that fact that, like, okay, well, you could see it'd be easy for this person to step into any conflict, confrontation, right, and feel perfectly fine doing so. But for others, they might not feel comfortable in that position. So basically, it's a long winded way of saying that it's possible that in some situations you might have intimidated people, but not intentionally. It's just one of those things where it might come naturally to you to say exactly what's on your mind and maybe say it in a very blunt way, and that might have rubbed others the wrong way, but that might have been something that wasn't in your awareness at the time. So that could even be what it is for some of you, where you're coming to that realization now of how something might have come across, even though that wasn't your intention. So that could be for a small percentage of you, but that thought did pop in my mind there. All right. In the near future position, we have the Five of Pentacles. So seeing this in the near future, to me, I don't see that as something gets repaired and then it goes back off the rails. I see this more as this just emphasizes the fact that I feel that for some of you, that energy is at play, that Six of Pentacles, but for whatever reason, like I said, whether you or the other side involved in this seems to have a reluctance to actually come forward and restore that balance. So I feel like this is saying that in the near future, that balance still won't be restored within the situation. For some of you, this can be around finances for sure, but yeah, could be friendships, you name it. But that's what I'm seeing with that. And you know what? Another thing I will say too, sometimes I think of physical health with this when it comes to this energy here. So I would mention that too. This again would be for a small percentage of you, but if there's something that's nagging you in a physical sense, right? Maybe some kind of persistent pain or something like that that you're having, I feel like this is your indicator to actually try to go get that checked out, just to make sure it's not anything major. I doubt that it would be, but at the very least you would get that relief. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Four of Cups. So yeah, this is usually an energy where you're not necessarily content with what's being offered, but at the same time, there's a lack of actually taking action to go after what you do want, right? So what I mean by that is, if we look at his body language, he doesn't look like he's too happy with those three cups that are in front of him, and there's just more on the way, right? And it's going to be more of the same that he's not happy with. So, but at the same time, he's not taking action, right? He's just sitting there with his arms crossed and not doing anything about it. So could just be a bit of an energy you guys are in where there might be offers coming your way, but they might not be to your liking. But then at the same time, for whatever reason, it looks like there's a bit of a lack of action on your part to actually go after what you do want. And it could just be all of the retrograde energies that we have going on, especially all that stuff going on in your 10th house too. So if that's the case, you might start to feel that ease up. Quite frankly, maybe not early February. It might take until later February and into March before you do start to feel that energy lift. But yeah, if that is where you're at right now, just keep in mind it probably won't be a real long-lasting transit. All right, in the environment position, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, and the World. So, interestingly enough, seeing these two cards here, I feel like this is really pointing to your energy, right? And what I'm seeing with this is an energy of solitude, right? Maybe being very focused on goals, possibly financially related goals, right? So I feel like this is saying that you guys might have been going it alone for a long time. Again, possibly because you had these goals in mind and you just had a singular focus, which is something that the Emperor is very good at, right? Emperors are very good at strategizing and just having that persistence to go after a goal and not stop until they get there, right? But with the World card here, I feel like this is saying that you might be being called to put an end to that cycle. So basically what I feel like, to put in a real practical example, could just be saying that, maybe you've been in some big work project, right? Especially given all the stuff we were just talking about with your 10th house. Maybe you had some huge work project that was taking up a ton of your energy and your time, and you were just singularly focused on that. And of course, with that, you might not have had as much energy to spend time with family or with friends or with a romantic partner, right? And with that World card here, I feel like it's saying that, okay, you actually were being called to be on that path for a while, but now I feel like it's saying that now you're actually being asked to reintegrate yourselves. So back with your friendships, back with your romantic partners, family, you name it. So, but for some reason, it looks like there's a reluctance to do that too. You know what I mean? So maybe for some of you, because you might realize that it's been that long, right? Maybe you just got so accustomed to being alone, doing your own thing, that now you're like, okay, how do I even reintegrate myself with other people, right? So for some of you, that could be as simple as that. But at the same time, what I see here, it looks like it's saying that you're not necessarily happy with the whole solo route either. So just wanted to mention that. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Fool. So I wouldn't normally say this, but given what we were just talking about with this energy as a whole, I feel like this is the same for a lot of you. This could be a fear, which I wouldn't normally think that for Aries energy, right? Aries usually is ready to take that leap into something new. Again, like I said, I feel like what I'm seeing here is there's a reluctance on your part to move. So I feel like for the majority of you, this is a fear. And if that's the case, keep in mind, for example, we see the sun in the background there, and the sun's going to be in your 12th house for the end of February and the first few weeks of March. So it might take a while until you do feel like you're ready. But keep in mind, before we know it, toward the end of March, we'll be in Aries season. Sun will be in your sign, and you might feel more ready to leap at that point. So again, like I said, this for the majority of you, this is probably more of a temporary thing, but definitely looks like a low energy cycle for you guys right now. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Five of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. So yeah, similar to what I was saying with the Five of Pentacles, with the Four of Cups as well. It looks like there's a bit of regret on your part, right? We see the spilled cups there. And if we think of the Three of Cups, usually it represents a celebratory type of atmosphere, right? So I feel like this is you guys possibly realizing, again, like I said, you might have just had some kind of goal, possibly financial, that you were really working toward for a long time. And in the process, you might have lost touch with some people in all different areas, which I already mentioned, right? So it could just be saying that you could be looking back on that with some regret now. Like, okay, was it wrong of me to go after this thing and possibly move some friendships along the way, right? Or not be in contact with family as much, not have a romantic connection. But I feel like this is just saying that I always mention with this card in particular how it stands out to me, the neutrality of the background, right? Some of these colors are very vibrant. Here we see that gray background, which to me represents the option, right, to either look at that, the spilled cups, or realize that there are the two still standing. So yeah, this is perfectly fine to be in this energy, but I feel like it's best if it's more of a temporary thing. So I feel like a lot of you will be putting that behind you, but yeah, it looks like a bit of a heavier month emotionally for you guys. The bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. So the good thing to see here is this is an energy of healing. This is a Libra energy, which we did see come up in your dice as well. So yeah, for some of you, it could just be as simple as that. Maybe you were sidetracked by some other goal and possibly missed out on some romantic opportunity. But for some of you, I'm getting it's more of a group and friendship thing too. But either way, looks like you are going through a healing process. I picked up on that possibility with the Star card too, because I mentioned that comes after the Tower. So yeah, maybe you guys just, were so singularly focused on something that another area of your life might have gone off the rails, possibly multiple other areas of your life. But it looks like there's definitely that potential to rebuild it. But like I said, it looks like you're not quite ready to do so yet. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card. It says, be impeccable with your word. And it says, realize the power of your word. So, okay, it says, your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift that comes directly from God. So yeah, interesting reading that message because it took me back to what I was saying with the Emperor energy, where for you guys it might come naturally to say exactly what's on your mind, right? So because it comes so naturally to you, you might expect the same from others, right? And if you're not getting that from them, then that might cause a bit of friction. So maybe that will resonate with you guys if that's an energy you've experienced in the past. All right, moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Observer. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. Okay, it says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So yeah, pretty positive message there, and it makes me think of the star energy that we saw in the foundation. And also I should mention that real early on in February is actually going to be a new moon in Aquarius. So maybe that's where you might get some of that insight. And there's going to be some transits that could help you with that as well, as far as getting friendships back on track for sure. The relationship message says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take the higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself and others and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So pretty positive message there. I didn't get a huge one-to-one romantic connection vibe with that, but with that four of swords at the bottom of the deck and also the Libra energy here, for some of you, this could definitely be around a romantic connection, so hopefully that resonated. All right, and the prosperity message says, it is an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. So definitely a pretty positive message there too, because that makes me think of seeing these energies now as maybe you guys are almost banging your heads up against the wall, right? Where you're just determined to have something work out the way you pictured it in your mind, and maybe it wasn't working out that way. So it could just be saying that maybe have a little bit of release, right? And a little bit of patience. And like I said, there's a ton of energy going on in your 10th house. So that could definitely be what's at play there. And if that's the case, those are more temporary things that toward the latter half of February and then into March, you might feel a lot better about those energies. So hopefully that resonated. All right. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Dharmachakra mudra. The key word for it is auspiciousness. All right. And there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says opens the chest, facilitates deep breathing, benefits the heart and lungs, balances inner and outer aspects of life, spiritual and worldly, serves as a window through which we can directly touch the inherent unity behind the veil of duality. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of it in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.